Hi friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Leanne. I'm a yoga and Pilates teacher, online coach and personal trainer. Today I'm going to take you through a 45-minute live Pilates class where we're going to be targeting the lower body, getting some warmth, working on some balance, the glutes and some back muscles. We're going to be looking to strengthen, work on flexibility, fluidity of movement, reduce any stiffness. I'm going to finish the class with some pranayama relaxation work. Let's get started. On the mat, standing up. Oh, bloody chair. Okay, let's warm ourselves up. We'll start with calf raises, warming up the ankles, soft bend in the knees. Looking for 15 to 20. Deep breaths. On the inhale, rise, exhale to fall. Trying to get your toes off the floor, so a flex and a stretch. Another 5, 3, 2, 1. Good. Good morning's next for the upper back and lower back. Elbows behind you, hips come back. Feel the stretch in the hamstrings. Squeeze the bum cheeks to rise. Knees don't really bend much, it's all in the hips. Nice neutral flat back. No curves other than your natural ones. You should start to feel a warm sensation in the lower back, above the hips, the glutes. But coming down as far as you can with that for that hamstring stretch. Another 10. Keep pushing them elbows back. Exhale down, inhale, rise and lengthen the spine. Weight should be in the heels of your feet. If they're not, shift your hips back even further. Another 5. Make sure you're not pushing the neck forward. 4, 3. One more. Good. I'm going to go into a nice wide squat. Stand, toes slightly pointing outwards, and as your toes are pointing outwards, your knees are going to track outwards, opening the inner thigh. Come down as wherever feels comfortable with you. I'm going to pulse for 10, 9, 8. Feeling a burning here. 7, 6, 5. Deep breaths. 4, 3, 2, 1. And rise. Good. Back over to good mornings for another 15. Hips get sent back. Working on flexibility, the hamstrings as well. Excellent. Another 5. Keeping them elbows back, them shoulders touching the spine. One more. Good. Nice wide squat. As wide as you can. Down for 10 pulses. 10, 9. Push them knees right out. 6, 5, 4, 3. Feel the burn. 2, 1. And rise. Good. Keeping nice and wide. One foot is going to come out 45 degrees. I'm going to go into triangle, so you can have your block handy if you're not sure if you want to go all the way down or not. So first things first, hips get sent back into the straight leg. The bent leg, you're going to come down. You feel the inner thigh open up. You can place your hand on the block or on the floor, or hold on to your ankle above. And you're going to twist your arm round, looking at your thumb. Deep breath in. Send them hips right back. Open them a little bit more as you settle in. Core engaged. Pushing the shoulder blades back. And then leading to that stretch as you twist round. Come out whenever you want. Or 2 more deep breaths in the triangle. One more. Excellent. Inhale to rise. Over to the other side. Putting the block the inner ankle. Hips get kicked back, bending at the knee. Holding on to the block, arm over your head. So your arms should be in a line with your shoulders. Looking at your thumb, challenging balance. 2 deep breaths in. Pushing them hips back a bit further. Good. Coming out. We're going to do that once more each side. You can stay the same or you can challenge it further. The next option is to remove the bend in the knee or keep the bend in the knee and just go down to the floor. It's totally up to you. So sliding down onto the block. So for a bigger hamstring stretch, you might want to straighten that back leg. So more of a triangle. And see if you can still look at your thumb and the other hand. Feeling that stretch. Hips are getting pushed back into space. One more big deep breath in. Challenging balance. Core engaged. Inhale, bending both legs to rise. Over to the other side. And you're ready. Sliding down with the bent leg. Pushing the hips back. Looking at your thumb. And when you're ready, you can try and straighten that front foot. Shoulders down away from ears. Core engaged. 2 more deep breaths. One more. Excellent. Bending both knees. Back into the centre. I'm going to come down onto a cat-cow. Feel free to grab a drink. That water's cold this morning. Let's check in with our spine, see how it feels today. Spine to ceiling. Inhale in cow. And as always, if you prefer cat or cow more, just linger a little bit longer in that pose. Can you feel any stretch sensations anywhere? And then we're going to move our hips side to side, left and right. Again, leaning into any tight areas. Can you see the sides of your legs evenly on both sides? Or is one side tighter? The tighter side, just leaning more. Spend a moment longer in that side of the stretch. Creating space between the ribs and the top of the hip. One more each side. Good. So you can go on to fists, or you can make sure that your palms a little bit further forward than your wrists. I'm going to start with donkey kick. You can also go onto your elbows as well. Heel to sky. Squeezing the bum cheek on the leg that you're using. Trying to keep that tension. Going for 12 or as many as you feel comfortable today with. And make sure you're distributing that weight evenly over your left and your right hip. So you're not just dumping in one hip. 5, 4. You should feel a warmth in the glute. 2, 1. Good. And the same leg before we swap over. It's going to paint big circles, clockwise direction with our knee. For another 12 reps. The higher you go, the more in the hip joint you get and lubricate the joint. See if you can connect to your core. Another 4, 3. It's normal to feel this on the other side. 2. One more. From here, this leg that we've just used is going to go into pigeon pose to stretch off. Settle into pigeon. Making sure that you're not being pulled out of it. Chest shines forward. Send your hips into the ground. Relax that back thigh. You should feel a stretch in the glute around the hip area. You should be sitting in the middle of the mat. Allow yourself to feel that stretch. Push your hips into the ground so you feel that stretch more. Good. Over to the left side next, starting with donkey kicks. 12. Heel to ceiling, bending in the leg. 4. 6. Coming down nice and controlled. 1 second up, 2 counts down. One more, and we're painting big circles, clockwise direction. Going for another 12. 7. Engaging the core. 11. One more, and then this leg goes into pigeon. Settle in. Chest shines forward. Waiting for those muscles to relax. Using your deep breath out. Coming back into child's pose. Nice and wide, toes kiss. Again, opening the hips, now they're nice and warm. Making sure you've got that inner groin stretch. If you haven't, and if it's not discomfort that you're feeling, go a bit wider with the knees. Forehead to the mat. Excellent. Making your way onto the floor for posture and back strength. I'm going to start with dorsal raises. Feet off the floor is optional. Elbows behind you, squeezing the shoulder blades together. High reps, another 10, looking for about 20 to 25. So the 4, 3, then you've got the option to hold the last one for posture. 2, one more, or you can release and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release into Sphinx or Cobra. Chest shines forward, shoulders down away from ears, head looking up to the sky. And for fluidity, coming back down, hips come up first, back into closed legs, child's pose. Feeling the tension melt away in the lower back. I'm going to stretch over to the left, pushing the right hip away from us. Leaning into that stretch with our body weight. And over to the right, pushing the left hip away and down. Good. I'm going to do that again. If you want to extend the levers and make it harder, feel free, or you can do dorsal raises again. You can reduce the reps as well if you're making it harder. Arms out to the side in a T position. Remember to incorporate the shoulder blades touching the spine. You're trying to get up off the floor as high as you can. So for another 10. 7. And you've got the option to hold. 5. 2, 1, and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Into Sphinx or Cobra. Exhale, pushing your belly into the floor. Shoulders down away from ears, squeezing the bum cheeks to protect the lower back. Exhale to release. Then back into closed knees. Child's pose. Deep breaths to recover. Over to the left for a stretch on the right. Pushing that hip down. Lean into it. And over to the right, stretching the left off. You feel it on the same side, the stretch. I'm going to do that once more, exactly the same if you can, or you can regress it for round 3, making it challenging and progressive. Let's see if we can match the reps we did last time. We're going for 15 if you can. Pushing them shoulders down away from ears. 6. 10. Making sure we're nice and warm in the spine, around the spine. Last 3. You've got the option to hold again. 2, 1, and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Coming into Cobra or Sphinx. Looking at the ceiling. Exhale, release. Back into child's pose. Two deep breaths. Over to the left, pushing the hip on the right down. If you've got any imbalances, tightnesses, lean into the side that's tighter. One more deep breath in. Exhale, swap over. Good. Last exercise for the back. We're going to get ready again, cat-cow. Just remobilize. Pants are falling down. Taking your time. You can go on to fists if you prefer that. Opposite arm to opposite leg comes out. Hip height, so have a look back, make sure your leg is actually hip height. And your arm is shoulder height. Rib cage in, belly button into spine. I'm going to come out and in for 10 times. Keeping nice and stable. It's harder than it looks. It's a good rehab exercise for any imbalances. Push them shoulders down away from ears. 3, 2, 1. Release. Excellent. Over to the other side. Have a look forwards and backwards. Make sure you're up as high as you think you are. And then out and in, another 10. How does this compare to the other side? Can you keep the legs up? 5, 4, excellent. 3, nice and steady. 2, 1. Release into child's pose. Stretch off. Deep breaths. From here, we're going to go into puppy pose. So thighs hips over thighs. And melt our chest, our head into the mat. You can hold on to the mat if you're sliding about a bit. And allow yourself to feel the stretch, might be around your shoulders, wherever you're tight. Pushing your hips up to the sky. Good. Walking them hands back in into cat-cow. Starting with a small range of movement until you mobilise again. Good. Same again with the bird dog. Opposite arm out to leg. When you're ready, out and in for 10, 2, core engaged, 4, nice straight leg, 6, nice and steady, 7, good, 8, 9, a lot of effort from everything, 10, release, over to the other side, make sure you're high enough, let's begin, 3, feeling warmth above the hip, that's good, 7, 8, 9, when you finish the last rep, into child's pose. I'm looking for you to feel nice and lengthened after this class. And the next inhale, exhale into puppy pose. See if you can go a little bit deeper with the back curve. Can you get your chin to floor, chest to floor? Excellent. Water break if you want one. Let's move over to semi-supine. Sorry, before we move on to semi-supine, with these warm back muscles, let's take advantage. You can either lie in semi-supine and practice some relaxation breathing if you don't want to do this, if you find it quite intense, or we're looking to improve the posture, improve rounded shoulders, and counteract it using the block. So, like I said before, if you've not done it on YouTube before, want to be roughly around bra height, but I prefer it a bit higher. Some people a bit lower. It's wherever you've got a curve starting in your back. So you might want to adjust it accordingly. Oh, and that's it, what I was going to say. You might find that you feel the stretch directly under the block. Again, that's normal. Carefully, using your elbows, lowering yourself down onto your block. Bum to floor, head to floor, arms out into a T. Can be in semi-supine or you can bring your legs out flat. Trying to relax the muscles in the back. Notice where you're feeling stretch. Shoulders down away from ears. And head should face forward. In a few moments, for 5 seconds, you've got the option to push your arms and your upper back into the ground to help posture. I want you to think about the muscles that are switched on and shaking and tensed that are being used. So think about your shoulder blades coming towards the spine as well. You want to place about 70% of your effort. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, push down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Deep breath in. Relax. And do that again. In 3, 2, 1. Push. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Deep breath in. Exhale. Relax. Last time in 3, 2, 1. Push. 5, 4. Shoulders down. 3, 2, 1. Release. Deep breath in. Excellent. I find the easiest way to come off this, elbows closer to your body, and then carefully roll off onto your side and move the blocks simultaneously. Then we're going to lower ourselves back into semi-supine. I'm going to finish the glutes. I'm going to extend, so you can do double glute bridge if that feels more like what you want to do today, what your body's calling for. Otherwise, if you want more of a challenge, legs straight up in the air, it can be bent as well. I'm going to bring your hips off the floor, even just a tiny bit, but ideally they should be as high as you can, thigh height. As many as you can, or 8 of these single leg glute bridge. Exhale, coming down. If you start cramping, have a play around with your foot placement. One more. Good, over to the other side. When you're ready, extend the leg. Keeping your hips level. 3, 2, 1, all the way down. Good, Apanasana, knees in for a hug and roll, side to side. Arms out to the side for window wiper and a little mini spine twist. We'll start with a rock for 10. Rocking side to side, bring the hip off the floor. Knees staying roughly navel height. Ribcage in, belly button into spine. See if you can bring tension to that lower core below the belly button. 2 more, and then we're going to increase the range of movement. Okay, coming down a little bit further if you can. You can straighten the legs as well to add more load and strength to the lower parts of the core. It's a nice spinal twist around the hip as well and the ribs. Looking for another 10 of these. Leaning into the stretch. If you're shaking, that's a good sign that you're loading the muscle to build strength. Another 2. Keeping your arms out to the side. Good, Apanasana, hug and roll, side to side. I'm going to do the single leg glute bridges again. As many as you can, or 8. Same principle, leg as straight as you can. Hips up, coming all the way down with your bum cheeks. I'm going for 8. 6, 7. When you finish last one, simply swap legs. 4, 6, couple more. Then when you finish your last rep, I'm going to go into Apanasana, hug and roll. I'm going to single leg stretch for another glute stretch and ab work. So one leg gets pushed away from you, crunching knee to nose, up and down with your head. You can, of course, keep your head on the ground if you don't want to work your neck, if you find it painful. But you are strengthening your sternocleidomastoid, the muscles on the sides of your neck. Just lift your head as well. Another 10, 9, 6, 2 more, 1 more. Good, Apanasana, hug and roll. Back into semi-supine. Inhale, arms rise. Start to de-stress. Another 2 like that. One more. Next, glute bridges. So we're going to have a play around with your stance of footing. So you can bring your feet together so they're touching each other, knees out. Lifting your hips off the floor. You can feel the difference in where this is targeting on the outer parts of your glutes. I'm going to come up and down with wide knees, as wide as you can. If you don't feel comfortable with this, if it's quite triggering for you, just go back to a normal glute bridge. That's absolutely fine. Keeping the core engaged. You can feel the difference how you work in the outer thighs. And because the glute maximus, the bum cheeks, the strongest muscle in the body, they do need targeted quite a lot with volume. But strong glutes, strong lower back. Another 10. 8. 6. 4. 3. 2. 1. Release into Apanasana. It's always when you release fully you get that burny, crampy. Good. One of my favourites next. Bringing the legs into tabletop position, pushing the core, the lower back curve flat and imprinting it into the mat with your core, ribcage in, belly button into spine, you've got tension. Supporting the head, we're going to come in for a crunch and release. We're going to pause for a squeeze and release. Exhale, coming up, inhale, down. As many as you can, or 20. Really want a good burn. If you can get the hips off the floor, even better engagement for the lower core, which is our problem area. It's forgotten about. It's the most important part of the core to protect that lower back. Keep imprinting, coming down one vertebrae at a time. 10, 9. Let it burn. 5, 3, 2, nearly there. One more. Oh, well done. Inhale, arms rise over your head. Slow exhale. 2 more like that. Inhale, belly gets pushed out. Chest and ribs rise. Pause at the top. And a slow exhale, chest and ribs fall, belly empties in that order. One more. Excellent. Scissors next. I like this one for the stretch of the hamstrings again. Knee to nose. Swapping over. Again, you can keep your head on the floor if you're feeling it in your neck too much. Pulling your leg towards you for that hamstring stretch. Looking for a total of 20 if you can. 6. So you might feel this in your forearms and your biceps as we tone in those as well. 14. Last 5. 4. Well done. 3, 2, 1. Release. Good. When you finish the last one, we're going to bring our knees and our feet together and glute bridges. We're making ourselves as small as we can. We're going to go for 20 glute bridges. Last ones. If it's shaking and burning, it's a good sign. 10, 9, 6, 5, 4, 2 more, 1 more. Excellent. Apanasana. Hug and roll. Well done, a lot of glute work there. Next we're going to bind our hands as much as you can and our legs to add weight. We're going to crunch in, elbows to knees and back down for as many as you can, getting your hips off the floor if you can. As many as you can, or 20. And then we'll stretch off. Pause at the top to make it harder and increase toning if you're eating protein. 8. Coming down with control. 10. Let it burn. 13. Nearly there. 15. Last 5. I can do this. 4. 2 more. 1 more. Well done. Release. Excellent. 3 deep breaths in. Pushing the belly out. And slow exhale. Again. One more. Excellent. I'm going to shift our hips over to the right, knees over to the left, and settle into a spinal twist. Arms out to the side to help with rounded shoulders. Pushing both shoulder blades into the mat. Relax. You can increase the stretch if you've got your shoulder blade on the floor by extending that top leg. Every exhale, relaxing further into the stretch and sinking. Two more big deep breaths. Can you get your foot and knee over to the other side of the carpet? Where you're feeling this stretch. Leaning into the stretchy areas. On the next inhale, moving back over to semi-supine for a moment and just feeling that stretch, appreciating that stretch, that difference in sides. Before we switch over to the left, knees over to the right, arms out to the side, settle in. Whenever you feel ready, extend that leg if you want to increase the load of the stretch. Any twists like this are really calming for the vagus nerve. Gets you out of flight, fight. Big inhale, push the belly out, will bring out the stretch slightly, but then the next exhale, you sink further in and you push into that stretch. Oh, I don't recommend sneezing during a stretch. My whole body tensed up. One more deep breath in. Good. On the next inhale, making your way back over to semi-supine. For a moment, feeling that stretch. Release. Moving on to your side and coming into an easy seat. You can sit on your block if that's more comfortable. I'm going to come around with the essential oils. Let me know if you wouldn't want any. It's just good for going together. Big take some deep breaths in. and smell the aromatherapy oil. Shoulders down away from ears, sitting tall. Hands in a prayer position, elbows high, deep breath in. Into your hands, a slow exhale. I'm going to do 2 more of those. Inhale. Slower exhale. 1 more. You're going to use the remainder of the oils on your hands, your arms, wherever feels good. And if you'd like to, you can join me in Chin Mudra. Resting your hands on top of your knees, sitting tall, chest proud, pushing your knees into the ground. You begin to just go through scanning your body and how it feels right now. Is it getting easier to sit tall? Is it still effortful? Where? Where in the body? Three big deep breaths using the full capacity of your lungs. Deep inhale, 1. Pause at the top with full lungs and slow exhale through the nose. Another 2 like that. Inhale. One more. I'm going to begin box breathing next. On an inhale, we're going to use a count of 3. So inhale, 3, 2, 1. Pause with full lungs for 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 3, 2, 1. Pause. 3, 2, 1. Continue. The pause is really important on the inhale and the exhale, before and after. It intensifies the benefits of pranayama and relaxation. If nothing else, you're in control of your breath. The anchor of the mind. Relax your facial muscles, relax your forehead. Have some space between your teeth. Keep practicing the 3, 3, 3, 3. Every time your mind wanders, just bring it back to the breath. It's not a big deal. This is a practice. Something that you get better at doing. And when we're doing it in times that aren't stressful, we're practicing it like now, it becomes easier to pull from in those stressful times. So you're able to ground yourself faster and calm yourself and your nervous system down faster because you have built this skill out with stressful times. You're welcome to join me in stimulating the vagus nerve next with some humming, which vibrates your vocal cords and the vagus nerve sits behind. This brings you further out of any stress responses, fight, flight, and helps balance your stress systems for the rest of the day at least. So on a deep inhale, bring in a gentle hum on the exhale. I'm going to do another 5 of those. Inhale. Feel free to go louder for more vibration. Another 2. Last one. My inner divine light bows down to your inner divine light. Namaste. Thank you for coming. I hope you sleep well.